Congress is now considering various aspects of some sort of a corporate bailout. I know that you years ago had pointed out many of the very deficiencies that they are just now seeing. What specifics would you suggest for the current situation?
Yeah, this is where corporate capitalism fails and it makes socialism bail it out. It's really interesting, isn't it? It's what my father said so many years ago when I was a kid. He said, "Why will capitalism always survive?" And his answer, because it'll always make socialism save it. It doesn't work the other way around. And that's what the government bailout is. It's a taxpayer bailout, $700 billion blank check that Bush sent to Congress a few days ago. It's 4 pages, basically says, we want you to give us full authority to spend $700 billion any way we see fit without any judicial review, or without any challenge, in order to save the financial industry. From what? From its own recklessness, its own greed, its own risk-taking beyond any prudence with other people's money, like trillions of dollars of mutual funds and pension funds. So what do we do about it? Well, we predicted this long ago. We testified, we warned, we wrote articles that this was coming, because with financial deregulation, there's no limit to corporate greed, and it's an infinite. And they take bigger and bigger risks with other people's money and pay themselves enormous amount of money at the top of the companies. So one, we have to reinstitute comprehensive federal regulation of the financial industry. 2, we have to empower shareholders. The problem is the shareholders in our country who own the companies don't have any power. They're told, if you don't like what the bosses are doing, sell your shares. If they had the power, if the mutual funds, the labor pension funds, individual shareholders had the power, they would never allow the executives to put their shares at such risk. They would never allow the executives to pay themselves this amount of money, because by having high executive pay, it gives these bosses who want millions for themselves every year the incentive to cook the books, see, to inflate the profits of the company, so their stock options are worth more. So it isn't just greed at the top, it affects the stability of the entire company, and shareholder power would prevent that. 3rd, we need full disclosure. People are in the dark about what they are asked to invest their money in. There's a lot of lying, cheating, stealing, as one prosecutor said. So that's got to be done. 4th, if the taxpayer is going to bail these companies out, if you're going to bail these companies out, you should have an equity share. So if the company, say, AIG, Fannie Mae, whatever, if they recover, you get whole and you can make a surplus through the Treasury. That's what happened bailing out Chrysler. They got stock warrants and made $400 million in 1979. U.S. Treasury said, we'll bail you out, Chrysler, with a loan guarantee, but we want part of the shares for the taxpayer. And Chrysler recovered, and the shares were sold for $400 million profit. 4th, we should have a security speculation tax and higher margin accounts. Margin accounts mean that speculators would have to spend their own money, more of their own money, not other people's money. They couldn't borrow money. So if you have a 50% margin, that means for every dollar a speculator invests, they can only borrow 50 cents. So that keeps speculation down. Then we have to have criminal prosecution of the crooks, you know. They did wrong, they should do the time. They should be put in jail. That would improve prison conditions, because they're powerful and they can't stand the food. So things would improve. And finally, and all this is on our website, votenader.org, more of this as well, is that finally what we need is a facility that makes it easy, if you're an investor, to join into a powerful investor group that can watchdog all this. and it would be a private group. It would be supported by people's dues. They would have their own economists, accountants, investigators, lawyers, and do what other government watchdogs wouldn't do because they're under the influence. Those are some of the things that can be done. Now, is Congress going to do it? Well, the Democrats are talking about taxpayer equity, which is good, controlling executive pay, which is good. But would you bet on their caving, or would you bet on their defeating Bush on this? The record is that they're more likely to cave. They're being stampeded. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Wall Street's collapsing. It's going to affect the economy. Give us a blank check. And of course, it's the kind of bailout with a blank check that's not likely to work. So what's the next act? What's the next act after $700 billion in bailout money if it doesn't work? Because it wasn't thought through with public hearings and deliberation and giving people a chance to testify.